So hi guys, this is a quick time-lapse tutorial on how I made my Warrior Princess Peach cosplay. First of all, I cut out some shapes that would be my leg armour. I used a Stanley knife for this, and I made sure it's a rectangle to go on my leg. Then use that piece as your stencil to make the other leg piece as well. Next, cut out any details that you want to add to your leg armour using foam. And then sand down all the edges to make all the edges nice and smooth. Sanding really puts your cosplay together. Once you've done that, paint it and use black acrylic. I also used a gold spray paint for this, but I highly recommend using black acrylic for this. I used a water base before and it did not work. So yeah, I've got all the details, so you've got star power and the wings for the leg armour. Once you have all your details painted, then you stick it on with a hot glue gun. Yeah, make sure that you plan it out first, because I tried taking it off and it destroyed the foam, so just make sure you plan. I was kind of winging it with this. Here's the second attempt of trying to stick it all together. I really do recommend planning it out, because I was such a scatterbrain with this. Looks uber pretty once put all together. Next we go on to the fine details. I used smaller bits of foam from Hobbycraft to do the scales, and then once you've done that, then you start painting it all, and I decided to add a little jewels onto each and every single scale. Make sure you use the heat gun as well, just to seal it all together. Warning, this was super tedious and really time consuming, so you need to be really patient with this. Again, a reminder to make sure that you sand down all of your edges just to make it look all pretty. I look so happy here. This was my second day and I hadn't left the flat in 3 days making this cosplay. So yes, gone into hobo mode here. Then you want to add a second layer of paint, because the black foam easily sucks up all the paint. So yeah. Then add a load of white just to add some shading. You can do any kind of shading you want. There's plenty of tutorials online that you can follow, but the white really made this pop out for the Peach cosplay and made it a little bit more girly. And here you have the leg armour, all nice and complete, and it's uber sparkly. Then we move on to the leg armour. I just done a semicircle and used the first one as my stencil for the second one. Make sure you're uber careful with the Stanley knife, because I tend to cut myself a lot because I'm not concentrating enough. Once you've got that all measured up, just make sure that they're the same. Yay, Joe's naked. Then using a heat gun, you want to melt the foam and mould it into shape. This took a few times because I'm scared of really hot heat, so I had it on a low heat, but yeah, highly recommend putting it onto a high heat if you want it to work quicker. Just make sure you push both sides together really securely, because it does bounce back. Again, you want to use your sandpaper to melt down all the sides and make it all nice and smooth again. Here I added some detailed scales, and I highly recommend not using pale pink spray paint on top of black foam. Here we have the completed scales for the thighs, and yep, don't use that, just use acrylic paint. As you can see here, I learnt from my mistakes. So acrylic paint all the way. Once you've added details to those, then you can start attaching them to your thigh pieces. Again, using a hot glue gun, just attach them on wherever you want. Make sure you plan it, and that's what you have after that. Moving on, I started to make my magic Super Mario mushrooms to add to the thigh piece. I thought these were so quirky and really cute, and really added to my cosplay, and it was a lot of fun actually painting these, so they're uber cute. Just make sure that, again, you paint them a few times, because black EVA foam does soak up a lot of paint. Again, here's the really tedious part of adding all the scales. I have probably done a few hundred scales on this cosplay, so yes, you really do need patience for this. I was willing to lose my mind on this. It took me all day to actually complete to the 5 pieces of attaching them and then painting them and then adding jewels and then sealing them off with a heat gun. So yeah, really you do need patience. Fuck my life, this took ages and I was uber drained. And then you paint all your scales. This is uber fun. I like to say uber, by the way. Uber fun in fast mode. Then I added all the jewels and here's the completed bit for the 5 pieces. Hope you enjoy. I will be adding more to this tutorial as I go along today. Thank you. Then we move on to the breastplate. I just use a casting that you use when you break your bones. I just cover this over a push-up bra with water and just keeping layers and layers on, and it will just make the basis for your breastplate. You can do it how long as you want and then you can cut it out, and it's a really, really easy way of just making a simple breastplate. So here you go. A few layers there and it will soon solidify. Then I paper mache it so you can stick all the foam on, and then I paint it and you get that. Then you start adding all the detail. It doesn't matter really how messy the edges are if you're going to add details all around the edge. So I decided to go along with the leaves from my leg armour onto the breastplate. Again, I've used over 600 jewels on this cosplay, so yeah, there's a lot of detail onto this breastplate, and I was struggling again. This cosplay has completely drained me, to be honest, but I really enjoyed it. Bit stressed out as you usually do the day before. Well, I've just finished it at 10 o'clock at night before the Comic-Con, so true cosplay style, doing this cosplay, so yay! There's my nipple pasty that I recreated for the blue jewel that Peach has on her dress. And there is a lot of painting, and yeah, and I just use thin foam for all the extra details that I do. You can get this from, again, like I said, from Hobbycraft for about 50p, and it's a really, really good way of adding just that extra bit of wow factor to your breastplate. I haven't tried Warbler yet. I'd like to try Warbler, but I reckon it's going to be too complicated for me. I think I'd like to use it if I wanted to make shoulder pads, because I can see how easily it moulds to the plates and stuff, because I tried doing that with foam and I failed completely. As you'll be able to see in the final clip of my cosplay, it didn't work out that well. But here we have all the jewels being added on. Very, very tedious work, but I hope you guys like this. I've put my heart and soul into this cosplay. And there we have it. It is so sparkly, as you can see. So if I went to like one of the after parties, I'm going to sparkle. You won't be able to miss me. I haven't completed the shoulder pads here. I'm probably going to do that in the hotel in Oxford on Saturday night, because I'm knackered. I'm absolutely shattered. But